Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is the final DLISA webinar for the spring 2021 semester. We're going to hear from our department director, our program director, Dr. Jim Vorbach. He's going to present some information that he thinks that you should all know. And without further ado, I will make Dr. Vorbach our presenter.
Hi, folks. I just had two. I was just thinking in preparing for this forum of what struck me as um, areas that come up or that may not be on the surface. You know, you're very busy with your courses. You're very busy. If you're finishing up this term, you're very busy dotting the I's on the portfolio and submitting that. That submission was last week. And so I was thinking about things that are not so much that could easily be out of radar. My two things that I came up with that I thought would be good to talk about is one, mentorship, and two, the portfolio. Which one would say, well, why would you bring that up? I mean, that's pretty much our radar. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm surprised sometimes when I get questions, emails, and I'm kind of surprised. I think the portfolio is something that can easily fall off your plate because you're focused on the courses you're taking at this time. So anyway, I have a few remarks, or actually questions that have come up, emails that I've received that I just formulated in the form of a question that I hope will help in that regard for those that are preparing for their preparing their portfolios, or any those like who have more than a term to go, and that would be helpful. And mentorship would be helpful even for those who are graduate, regardless of what semester you're in. Mentorship will be helpful. Okay, so let me just share my screen, share content. Let's see what I got here. Share. Okay. And let's see. I'm going to jump to first, okay, mentorship. Let's jump to the LibGuide. Okay, so here we are in the LibGuide. This is essentially your online student manual. Okay, if you don't have this URL bookmark, Campus Guides at St. John's edu/DLIS, this last home is just the page you're on. Really, the URL is ends at DLIS, and then you could always go to the blog, and in the blog, under resources, the blog is the shortest URL we have. It's the one I have the easiest time remembering. And go to resources, and you can get into the LibGuide that way. Okay, but the LibGuide really, for most content, static content, is your manual essentially. Okay, so let's go as far as let's talk first about mentorship and then about ePortfolio. That'll be the sequence. So I go to career development, the career development page, and Mike and I had a meeting today, and we kind of changed and brought the mentoring further, or a little higher in the display. And so here it is right here under ALA resources, mentoring opportunities. Okay, it used to be down over here, and we just decided that it'd be best to bring it up to make it a little more visible. So I'm going to click on this, and what this is the American Library Association. If you're not a member of the ALA already, please do so, because they have a very great discount for students. You get the national membership in ALA, and you also get your State Library Association membership for around $40. So it's a great deal. And I would strongly recommend you take advantage. I'm not sure whether that's necessary for these mentoring opportunities, but that's up to you to investigate. But let me just, first call your attention to this link. Okay, we'll go there. And here on ALA's website, you see under mentoring opportunities, a rich collection of professional bodies. You have the academic, college and research libraries or academic librarians. You have the technical services, ALCTS. You have the Children's Librarians Mentoring Program. You have GLBT Roundtable. You have the Management Mentoring Program, New Members Roundtable. The list goes on, and young adults. Then you have various discussion groups. All these resources are available for you to take advantage of. So I just want to make sure to call your attention to that. Okay, so definitely, it's not, just to click on a link, get information. Further down, affiliate mentoring programs. I don't want to leave out the archivists, and even some, you know, uh, ethnic, um, you know, groups. We have music, regional. So anyway, there's a lot of different opportunities there for folks to investigate, and so it's there for you to take a look at. So let me move back. Okay. Back to, okay. So then, also I should mention that we're starting a new mentorship for new students. This we hope to start in the summer. So I know you folks on the call are not new students, but for those who are graduating in the spring, if some of you are on the are watching, I hope you consider the mentoring survey, because the mentoring for new students relies on recent alums, those who are familiar with the online learning pedagogy, and the idea being to just assist new students with online, getting up the learning curve on how to organize time to best handle the work in the online in their online courses. So that it's not so that's something new. We hope to start in the summer. We have some volunteers from the January graduation group, and I hope we have a few more volunteers in the spring graduation uh, group, and then we'll have enough to start that for the new students in the summer. So anyway, that's just something new. So we move on to the second part of my remarks, and that is the e-portfolio. And this is basically structured around emails that I get, and the first so it's questions. I formulated a couple of questions that I hope kind of cover a lot of the concerns students have after they're in the program. Okay, from the very first semester, some of these are, at that point, and some are somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to click on ePortfolio, and the first question is, how do I get started? Okay, so just what in the very first term. Okay, so let's say you're a spring 2021. You started the program. You're taking LAS 204, 205, very first term. You have already your Digication account. So I would suggest, as soon as you finish this term, your first term, I would, if you haven't done it already, I would go in. Now, when you got your account, you should have received an email from Digication with some instructions. So open your account, explore it. Well, how do you explore it? Okay, so again, first, this is just, I would say, orientation. So the first thing you want to do is orient yourself to Digication. And I'd say the thing to do is on this ePortfolio tab, you watch the most recent webinar, which was the Spring 21 webinar on ePortfolio. Every semester, we do a webinar, and we record it. and we post the most recent one on the ePortfolio page. The others are in on the video archive. So I would watch the ePortfolio page, which does two things. It gets into the technology, which is what I mean by orienting yourself to the platform, and it also has two faculty giving the uh, faculty side or the reviewer side of the ePortfolio assessment. Okay, so I would watch that, and then I would go to in Digication. In this box here, right underneath the video, you see Getting Started. These links here are tutorials created and maintained by Digication. Okay, so they're up to date. I would just go maybe look at the first two. Again, I'm just talking about orientation. So look at the first two, maybe the third one about the dashboard. And then at that point, I would go in, create an e-portfolio, and get yourself familiar with the technology. As you have more time, then I would take a look at maybe some more of these tutorials and try to get more familiar with the other features and take some notes. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You're taking some notes, okay, as you're going through the tutorials, especially where to find stuff. So you know which tutorial has what you need when you have certain questions. Okay, so that's one thing. Now let's say in what in terms of content, what you can do is to upload artifacts. Most courses have significant assignments or projects. Those would be good candidates for your ePortfolio. Now, of course, there's overlap. You only need one artifact for each goal. You may, if you really like two artifacts and you're not sure how to choose between one or the other, you may certainly use two artifacts for a goal. But of course, if you have two artifacts, then you must a little more writing is required because for each one you have to relate it to the goal and describe your learning for that artifact. Okay, so that gets us to this idea of the relationship between the course and the goal. Okay, so that's like my second question. How do I know this particular course I'm taking? How do I know what goal this corresponds to? Okay, so there's 8 goals, just to back up a bit. There's 8 goals for the MS LIS program. Those 8 program goals are available on the website, the department website, or they're available right here. It's my quickest way to get there is opening it up from the LibGuide. Sometimes if you don't use the department website that often, which by department website, I mean the website that's on St. John's department's pages on St. John's University's website. If you don't do it that often, it can be a little tricky navigating around because you're not comfortable with it. You may want to just stick to the LibGuide. Okay, so here on the LibGuide, you have access to all the goals and the outcomes under each goal. Okay, get back here. So the answer to that question on goals, the relationship between goals and courses is number one in the syllabus. In the syllabus for your course, it'll say what goal or goals, okay, does that course correspond to? The second thing, which I'm not sure how many people take advantage of, is this curriculum. And the curriculum map lists all the courses in the program. Now, this curriculum map will be updated over the summer because some recent courses, are not there yet. Like, for example, culture competence, which was just introduced last summer. Okay, so faculty are reviewing right now curriculum map, and that will be updated shortly to include all the few more recent courses. And if a course is not here, then again, going back in the syllabus will tell you, the syllabus will tell you what the program goals are. But you can certainly, like I would suggest, printing this out. So now you have a global list for your courses of what, of course, and the corresponding program goals and outcomes. Just the terminology, okay? I mentioned 8 program goals, and then you see, like, for example, goal 7 is 7A, 7B. Well, what is that? Okay. Well, that's what we mean by outcomes, okay? Each program goal is characterized. There's 8 goals. So you see, as far as numbers go, there's 1 through 8. Okay? That's no higher numbers than 8. 8. Each goal will have one or more outcomes, and the outcomes are concrete ways in which that goal is realized. Okay, so the courses will say the goal and the outcome, say, and unless, of course, there's only one outcome, the goal for technology goal is only one outcome. So in that case, the course may say goal 4. Okay, but other than that, one case, all the other goals have more than one outcome, and so they will, show, the course will let you know what outcome that course corresponds to. Now, with regards to the ePortfolio, you're selecting one course that satisfies at least one outcome. Okay, so you're not looking for a course that satisfies, for example, goal 1. Goal 1 has 5 outcomes. You're not looking for a course that satisfies all 5 of the outcomes of goal 1. It's sufficient, because there are overlap between those outcomes. It's sufficient that you would select a course that satisfies one of the outcomes, at least one of the outcomes of goal. Okay, so hopefully that's clear as far as the A, B, C, D terminology you see. The letters are the outcomes, the numbers are. Okay. Okay, so that enough said about that. Another question. Actually, this is my last question. With, regarding e-portfolios, is what is the purpose of 105, LIS 105? I get questions like, emails. Students may be under the false impression that in 105 you do your e-portfolio, that doing the e-portfolio is the purpose of 105. No, that's not the purpose of 105. 105 is, by the time you get to 105, which is the course you register for in the term that you're submitting your e-portfolio. It could be it could be the term when you're finishing your 36 credits. Your last courses could be, you could take 105 at that point, or you could register for it the semester immediately following. It's about 50% of the time students will hold off on 105 just because it's enough work finishing up their courses, and then they postpone 105 to the next term. Commonly, a summer term is common that people will postpone 105. Instead of finishing the spring, they putting 105 in the spring, they register for it in the summer. That's very common, but it's really up to you. Some students, they have it done, and so they register for it in the spring. Okay, so that aside, 105 is where you are writing your reflections. You've got all your artifacts. And on each of the artifacts that I'm going kind of quickly here because we've talked about this. Your advisors probably have talked about. I know I've talked about this at the orientation. That over the course of your program, you're uploading artifacts and you are taking notes, putting notes in. So then when you get to 105, you look over those notes and you're writing your reflections in 105. I mean, you could even have rough drafts of your reflections. You need a reflection for each of the goals. Okay. And the reflection is 2 parts. You're describing the relationship between the artifact that you uploaded and the goal, how it satisfies the goal. and 2, you're describing or reflecting on your learning from that artifact. Okay, so getting back to 105, there's a couple of things about 105. Number one, it is a communication tool. It's a way we communicate to all those who are submitting the e-portfolio. That's one, and the way students who are submitting their e-portfolio can communicate with each other. So that gives you an opportunity of peer review. All the students who are submitting their e-portfolio are in that course for that term, so they could post a link to their e-portfolio to the discussion board and get there and ask colleagues to take a look and give them some feedback. So that's something that you can take advantage of in 105 is to have that uh, peer review. Have a friendly um, um, feedback from other students on your e-portfolio before you submit it. Okay, and so that and getting ideas from each other. Again, you're at this point you're basically writing your reflections. Your artifacts are up, or you're finishing your reflections. So you have some time to make the necessary finishing touches on the portfolio before you submit it. And the submission would always be roughly the 3 weeks prior to the end of the term. And it's always on a Monday. The exact date is posted in the calendar. And it's also posted in the course, in the 105 course, the date of submission. Okay. Let me look at something else here. The exit survey, which is a required task, is also posted in 105. And is the optional mentoring survey, which I hope a lot of those graduating in the spring, take advantage of, but it's optional. You don't have to. The mentoring survey is also posted there. I believe the artifact survey, Michael, you're unmuted, right?
Yes.
The artifact survey is also posted in 105. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep. So there's a couple of surveys there. The exit survey you need to complete. That helps us with accreditation. Your feedback is very important when you're exiting the program. The artifact survey, also very important. That helps us, informs us about the courses in a different way by telling us what artifacts you're using in your e-portfolio, what courses you're drawing from in your e-portfolio, the artifacts from, and then you have the optional mentoring survey. Okay, that said, that concludes my remarks. My best wishes to those graduating in the spring, and I wish you the best of luck as you move forward and apply what you've learned in your careers. Take care.
Well, thank you, Dr. Vorbach, for your insights into the e-portfolio process. And I think that it's important for the students to just be mindful. So that talk just has benefits for students that are starting or in the middle of their program, as you said, and for those who are getting close to ending, shooting for a summer submission. So there is value in always being reminded to at least think about the e-portfolio. You don't have to work on it as much, but you do want to be mindful of it as you go through the program, just so that you're not put through undue stress in your final semester. That said, as we wrap up the spring 2021 semester, I just want to remind everyone that May 4th, Star Wars Day, is the last day of classes for the spring semester. June 1st will be the first day of summer session 1 for those of you who are enrolled in registered for summer courses, and July 8th is the first day of summer session 2, and it is in summer session 2 that the e-portfolio will be due. So that's sometime in late July. The date, again, is posted on the DLIS calendar, which is accessible through the DLIS Loop Guide. And finally, last big event of the semester, virtual recognition ceremony for St. John's graduate programs will take place Thursday, May 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Even if you're not graduating, you can visit the synchronous ceremony and wish your classmates well. Again, that's Thursday, May 20 at 6 p.m. And I believe you can find more information at stjohns.edu/commencement. That's it. We're done for this semester with webinars. As usual, if you need anything, feel free to email dlis@stjohns.edu, or you can email me, Michael Crossfox, at cruzm@stjohns.edu. We'll pick this up again in the fall. Everyone have a summer. Look at that typo. Have a summer, everyone. Bye-bye. Wow. All right. Thanks, Dr. Vorbach.
Are we still live?
No. I'm about to end the meeting.
Oh, okay.